Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, today we're jumping straight into something pretty significant for anyone thinking about learning and, well, the future. It's Google's recent white paper, AI and the Future of Learning. We're doing our usual thing here, trying to give you the shortcut, distill the key ideas. And the core message from Google seems pretty clear. AI isn't here to, replace teachers. It's meant to support them, make learning really personal, way more accessible, and importantly, keep that human connection right at the center. Learning is still human. That's the line.
Right. And I think the timing here is, well, it's critical to understand why this paper now, for you listening, navigating this, endless flood of information. This paper really hits on a paradox. We've got all the information, right? Total abundance. But globally, we're actually struggling with effective learning, with making knowledge stick and applying it. Tech always changes education, obviously. But AI feels different. It's pushing us to rethink how we help people learn, stay curious, drive progress.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Maybe start with the groundwork. The tough reality educators are facing right now. The paper makes it clear. Learning is fundamental, the bedrock of progress. And yeah, we've done amazing things with access, something like 90% global primary enrollment. Huge number. But the quality of that learning, it seems to be slipping.
That's the data shock, really. You look at the OECD's PISA results. That's the big international student assessment. Their latest findings showed what they called an unprecedented performance drop. I mean, seriously worrying. Math scores, on average, down 15 points. Reading down 10 points. And that's just compared to 2018. It's happening everywhere.
Wow, 15 points in math. That's substantial.
It is. And it's a global trend, not just one or two places.
And on top of these falling scores, you've got this immense pressure on the actual teachers, right? The people in the classroom. We're staring down a massive global teacher shortage. UNESCO's numbers are pretty stark. They think we need, 44 million new teachers by 2030?
34 million, yeah.
Just to meet basic universal education goals. I mean, you can't just hire your way out of that gap quickly.
Exactly. And it gets worse when you layer on the resource inequality. Most countries are working with, less than 10% of the per-student funding the U.S. has. So you've got inadequate resources, stretched funding, learning loss. It's a perfect storm, really.
So if the system's already buckling under that kind of strain, the conversation has to shift, doesn't it? It's not just about patching things up. It feels like we need a bigger leap. The internet, we know, knocked down barriers to getting information. But this paper argues AI is the next step, helping us actually understand and use that information.
That's the core argument. Synthesizing, applying. That's the potential game changer. And the paper outlines, I think, 5 key opportunities. The first one directly tackles those PISA scores. Deep personalization. Think about a typical classroom. 30 kids, 30 different needs, speeds, gaps. The traditional model just struggles with that. It's almost impossible. AI, though, can potentially figure out exactly what you don't know, create a specific path just for you, give tailored feedback, help you work right in that sweet spot, the zone of proximal development, they call it, where it's challenging but not, crushingly frustrating, just right for growth.
Okay, so AI handles the diagnosis, the personalized roadmap. What does that mean for the teacher's job day to day? That sounds like a fundamental shift.
It is. That's the second opportunity. It recasts the teacher. Less of the sage on the stage, less grading grunt work, more of a coach, a motivator. AI becomes this powerful teaching assistant. Imagine the hours saved on admin, lesson planning, drafting quizzes, finding resources. Tools like Gemini for education can generate ideas, materials quickly. We're talking potentially hours back every single week.
Right, freeing them up for the stuff AI can't do.
Precisely.
The inspiration, the connection, helping kids develop socially, emotionally, the really human parts.
Exactly, which leads neatly into the third promise.
Yeah.
Tutoring, available anytime. We have solid evidence, really rigorous studies showing that intensive human tutoring, high-dosage tutoring makes a huge difference, especially for students from lower-income backgrounds who might not get that support otherwise.
Okay, but hang on. If it's AI tutoring, isn't there a risk it just becomes a homework cheat machine? Where's the actual learning? Does the science hold up without a person there?
That's a really important question. It comes down to how the AI is designed and used. The paper doesn't really position AI tutors as replacements for humans. They see them as a complement or maybe a bridge. They're cheap, they're available 24/7, they're non-judgmental. They fill a gap when a human tutor just isn't feasible.
Yeah.
The key is the design. It shouldn't just spit out answers. It needs to prompt reflection, guide thinking, not just offer shortcuts.
Got it. So it's about the interaction design. That makes sense. Which ties into the fourth opportunity, right? Going back to that massive global equity issue we talked about,
Hmm.
removing barriers. For so long, good information was locked behind walls. Language, complexity, just availability.
Mm.
AI could potentially just dissolve some of those walls,
Mm.
simplifying complex stuff on the fly, translating instantly, turning dense text into visuals that feels like it could genuinely lift the floor for millions of learners, especially where there just isn't much content available in their own language.
Absolutely. It significantly raises that baseline access to understandable knowledge. And when you make information that approachable, you enable the fifth opportunity.
Yeah.
You spark curiosity. You encourage that lifelong learning habit. AI can help bridge that gap between abstract concepts and like real-world relevance, making learning feel less like a chore and more like exploration.
Okay, so those are the big promises. How is Google actually trying to, build tools that deliver on this? The paper says it's not tech first.
Right. They stress it's pedagogy first, grounded in learning science. They mention their Learn LM efforts, basically making sure the AI promotes effective learning strategies. Things like deep practice, asking yourself questions, spacing out review,
Yeah.
the stuff we know works.
And we see that in the tools they highlight.
Supposedly. Take guided learning. It's like a conversational tutor. But crucially, it makes the student choose. Do you just want the answer? Okay. Or do you want step-by-step guidance that actually makes you think, reflect, understand why? It forces engagement.
Okay, designing for learning, not just answers. I like that. And what about handling all this information? Synthesis is such a key skill now.
Yeah, and that's where Notebook LM comes in. It's designed to help you organize notes, connect ideas across different documents or sources. It helps you spot patterns, themes, relationships, stuff that could take you hours to find just by reading everything manually.
And the engine behind this is Gemini.
Gemini, yeah. Their advanced model, but specifically fine-tuned for education, because it's supposedly built with those learning principles baked in. It can offer personalized study help, create quizzes, even help teachers with assessment, right, within tools they already use, like a Google Classroom, trying to streamline things.
All right, this all sounds very promising, but let's get real. We have to talk about the challenges, the skepticism. And the big one, the first one everyone thinks of, is accuracy, trust, AI hallucinations. What if it just makes stuff up? Or pushes biased information?
It's the primary concern, absolutely. And the paper tackles it head on. What's interesting is their stance. An educational AI cannot just be, in their words, an uncritical mirror. It can't just agree with the student if the student is wrong. It has to be designed to challenge misconceptions, to correct inaccuracies. If it can't do that reliably, it fundamentally fails as an educational tool. That's a high bar.
Okay, accuracy is one thing. What about the worry that AI just makes us lazy thinkers, the metacognitive laziness idea? If the AI does all the summarizing, the connecting, the explaining, do our own thinking muscles atrophy?
That's the critical thinking debate, and is where, educational psychology comes in handy. Think about cognitive load theory. Our working memory is limited. The goal of learning isn't just to struggle endlessly. It's to focus your mental effort on the right kind of struggle, the deep thinking, the analysis. So the argument is AI should reduce the unproductive load, like wading through poorly written text or searching for basic facts, so you have more mental bandwidth left for higher order reasoning. It's about offloading the right things.
Okay. Shifting the effort, not eliminating it.
Exactly.
But then there's the assessment piece. Every teacher, every school is worried. What about cheating?
Or actually a bit mixed on whether AI is increasing cheating overall or just making old cheating methods obsolete and highlighting weak assessments. But the conclusion is unavoidable. Assessment has to change. We need to design assessments that are inherently AI-proof. That means moving away from tasks AI can easily mimic, like standard essays or simple recall tests, towards things that demand real-time human thinking, unique synthesis, collaboration. Think in-class debates, portfolio projects showing process, oral exams, complex problem-solving scenarios. Things AI just can't replicate authentically.
Makes sense. It forces a rethink of what we value in assessment. But there's one more massive hurdle, maybe the biggest, equity. These tools need devices, they need internet access. The paper admits there's a huge risk of stratification. Wealthier students, better resource schools get the benefits, and the gap just widens. Instead of closing the gaps, it could make them worse.
It's a major concern. And tied into that is something they call the 5% problem. The worry is that the students who jump on these AI tools first, the ones who use them most effectively, are probably the students who are already highly motivated, organized, good learners. The top 5 or 10%.
Right, the ones who least need the help, in a way.
Kind of. And if we design and evaluate these tools based only on their success, we might build something that doesn't actually work well for the average student or for the students who are struggling the most.
Mm.
We get a biased view of effectiveness.
So getting this right isn't just about better algorithms. It sounds like it needs a massive collective effort.
That's precisely the conclusion. It requires real collaboration. Educators, policymakers, researchers, universities, everyone working together. Responsible testing, careful rollout, sharing what works, what doesn't, constantly refining based on real-world use, and keeping equity front and center. The breakthroughs won't just be technical, they need to be societal.
And that final thought from the paper really brings it home. The greatest potential of AI is helping everyone reach theirs. It puts the focus back on the individual human learner.
It's a powerful refocusing. Because, think about it, education is often judged, rightly or wrongly, on how well it prepares people for the world of work. And AI is scrambling that world of work constantly in ways we can't fully predict. Domain knowledge, shelf life is shrinking, adaptability is key.
Okay, so for you listening, we know critical thinking is vital, specific knowledge still matters, adaptability is crucial, we get that. But here's the question to chew on. As AI keeps reshaping jobs faster and faster, what new essential skills beyond those basics should we be prioritizing in education today? Skills that are guaranteed or as near as guaranteed as possible to stay relevant and valuable no matter how smart the AI gets. Something to think about as you navigate your own learning path.